Y'all, let's get into it. Today we are talking about international travel with our guest co-host, Patrick Amara. And one of the things that we've really got to dive into is when it comes to travel, I feel as though travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness. So I want to ask you, Patrick, why is it important for us to travel outside of the country? And why do you feel as though Black and brown people are somewhat nervous to leave their norm?
It's very important. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Patrick, and I'm a world traveler, and I'm a jack of all trades. I'm a businessman. Do modeling. I do a lot of stuff. I do everything. I just believe that anything you put your mind to, you can do it. That's the way I go. So when it comes to traveling, I believe that it's very important for people to travel because my favorite quote is, travel is the best form of education you can treat yourself to. And
why is that?
Because I've learned a lot of things, just from traveling, being everywhere around the world, been to so many places that I've learned a lot of things that I didn't learn when I was in college. I never learned that. They don't teach you that in the classroom. So I think the more you travel, the more you broaden your horizon, and the more you learn a lot, just from traveling.
If I can interject, you said that Black people were shy and afraid to travel.
I didn't say shy.
Could you repeat what you said, please?
Okay, I didn't say shy. I said that Black and brown people are somewhat nervous to go outside of their comfort zone.
I don't remember Africans being nervous. Patrick, are you not African?
Yeah.
You see a bunch of us traveling to different places. So what you mean by Black and brown people?
I'm saying in the American culture. Yes, we're somewhat nervous to travel internationally. I don't have a passport.
So you're just saying you're a bum, and now all Black people are bums because they don't travel.
Yeah.
So, let the man speak.
To answer your question to that, before I actually started traveling, I do a lot of research. I spend a lot of time doing research before I go. I just don't get up and go. And one thing I noticed, and you guys can look this up, it's only 40% of Americans that have a passport. Which when I was really shocked when I saw that because the passport is the U.S. passport is so powerful, can get you to almost everywhere you want to go in the world. So the reason, to answer your question, the reason why I think a lot of Black and brown people are very nervous is because of the media has a lot to do with that. And once you've not people think the U.S. is the whole world, but it's a big old world out there because they've not, never left the U.S. before. And the U.S. is so big, it's so easy for you to get comfortable, just stay here. And a lot of Black and brown people think once they, the whole world, except of the U.S., it's not safe. So safety is the most, is the main reason why, a lot of Black and brown people are nervous to get out of the U.S.
Aren't they kind of right, though? Isn't U.S. the golden standard in terms of countries?
It depends on the way people, that's how, the media makes it sound.
Okay,
the way people.
So the media, they're trying to scare us.
Yes, from traveling and going out of the way. Yeah, they tell you don't go to Colombia. That's just an example, I'm just giving us an example. I don't mean, they'll tell you don't go, for example, to Colombia. Colombia is very dangerous, don't go there. I've been to Colombia numerous times,
I do agree with both of you guys in terms of people should travel. Yes, I do. I look at your surprised face.
Yeah.
But is it just because it sounds like you two are just blaming certain things on people not traveling? Is it the fact that the U.S. media might be right? Colombia is a dangerous place. I mean, after all, drugs come from there. Are you saying the U.S. government is wrong about that? Places like Mexico with the cartel. So is it, I would say, are they right in the sense of, I don't want to leave a safe area like New York or Washington, D.C., the greatest capital of all time, to go to, let's say, a shithole like Mexico that has cartel running around, get shot, robbed, I'm sorry. Why not stay here where we have everything? We're the greatest country in the world.
We have everything, however, the crime is here as well.
Well, let me interject right here then, because if I am able to pick up a book, watch a video, practice another language, do all these things while I'm here in the United States, and experience a lot of things while I'm here, why do I need to travel?
Exactly.
If it's
For the
so
experience.
dangerous, if it's not so, I'm getting the experience because I'm interacting with those people from other countries. If I'm taking courses online or things, so
But that's online.
okay, but I'm still getting experience. I'm still getting exposure. I'm still doing things in other
Exactly.
countries. So why do I need to
But you're
go
doing
there?
it. But you're
Well,
doing it in the country.
Yeah, exactly.
But if I can learn about the different things, or if I can interject myself that way, if I don't want to travel, I mean, is that such a bad thing? Am I being demonized because I don't want to go out the country? I just want
Not
to take
necessarily.
pieces from it,
Is
like
it-
the United States have done for
Is it
years.
just a fact? Okay, you're a traveling man, right?
Yeah.
And you have an American passport.
Yeah.
Would you agree with me by saying that most of the countries that we go to in Europe, Africa, Asia, so on, don't like Americans, even though in terms of help, we give out the most help in the world? Why would I want to go to a place that don't like me, think that I'm arrogant, even though I help out the world the most? Yes, you might argue and say that we caused war, but every single empire has caused war, and the last I checked, everybody wants to come to America, even though they say we are the bad guys.
I wouldn't necessarily say everybody wants to come to America, because certain people that I've spoken to that are not from America, they've said that they want to come here to make their money and go back home.
Well, that's still
And
coming here,
yeah,
though,
that's
right?
still coming
So-
here.
I mean, but they don't want to come here to stay. That's what I'm trying to
Well,
say.
everybody still does want to come to America.
And how do you, just because you wear that hat that looks like you travel, you just stated that you don't travel often.
Not
Yeah,
today.
and-
You don't even have a passport.
Not today.
Okay,
I'm not doing
so
that today.
let the
Because
man
no,
answer it.
no, because what he's trying to do is
I do like the hat, though.
Oh, I do
Yeah.
not. Okay.
I just want to go back to
Okay,
Keith's
go
question.
ahead.
We're
Yeah.
talking about, reading, have all the resources here in America. You can read about a country, you can, do everything I learn about a country. But this is one thing I want to tell people. And I've traveled to over 36 countries. I'm telling you that traveling and going and see with your own eyes is completely different from like learning it.
I agree.
The experience, one thing I tell people, when experience is the best thing you can have, it's way better than material stuff and all of that. So it's all about the experience. The experience is completely different from what you learned. Like, this is a great example. I went to Egypt like a year ago. I was in Egypt. Of course, before I go to Egypt, before I went there, I was reading, I read about the pyramids. We all know about the pyramids, right? We learned about that. But like going like to Giza and actually seeing the pyramids with your own eyes, like touching it and seeing it is a completely different experience.
Yes.
So let me ask you this then too, Patrick. And then I respect that experience for you, but in the United States, we have different sectors and different things. Like, let's say they have Chinatown, or they have Little Italy. They have all these little sections, and it's just a duplication of what I guess our interpretation is with other folks who might be from those countries. That's not good enough to just go there and practice it and speak the language and interact there?
No, it's not good enough at all. Because why you think so many people travel, is to go get the experience, because you want that authentic Egyptian experience, like the food, the people, the way the people move and everything. So that's all what you get. You'll never bring Egypt. You can have everything. Like the United States can replicate everything in Egypt or everything from other countries, but it's not gonna be authentic. You're never gonna have that authentic Egyptian
So me going to the
experience
museum just
that you're
isn't
gonna
enough?
have.
It's not.
No.
Okay.
I want to ask you again. In our community, in the Black and Brown communities, people are, again, they don't want to step outside of their comfort zone. What advice can you give them to just feel more comfortable within themselves to want to travel?
My main advice is, first you have to, do research, and just try to explore, and obviously, just have like common sense, One thing I've seen when people travel, don't try to make yourself a target, People travel,
How do you not make yourself a target?
This is how I do. Like, I try to blend in as much as possible. If I keep giving Colombia as an example. I've seen like other travelers like wearing like really flashy things. Like big gold chains. Flashy watch. That's how you make yourself a target.
So leave your
if
money at home.
Yeah, if you stay away from that. Just try to blend in. If you're going to Colombia, dress like how the locals dress. No one is gonna like go after you or something like. So that's how you don't make yourself a target.
Would you recommend traveling alone, with a friend, an entourage?
It all depends. For a start, if you are, you're just starting getting into traveling, getting a traveler, I recommend that you travel with at least a friend. But like if you've traveled, or how adventurous you are. Like most places now, actually like countries that have like a bad reputation, they're trying to build up, their tourist industry. They have tourist police. That's one thing I experienced. In Colombia, even in El Salvador. They're trying to just build their tourist industry back. They have all these resources for tourists. To protect us there as tourists, because that's where most of these places, that's where the money coming from. Like in Egypt, they make before the pandemic, they make over like $1 billion just in tourism, $1 billion US. So they make a lot. So when I went to Giza, when I was in the and that's where the pyramids are. So many tourists were there. People just go there just to see the pyramids and a whole lot of other things.
At least he keeps saying that Black and brown people don't like to travel.
I didn't say they didn't like to. I'm saying.
Yeah, please go ahead. What did you say?
Because I feel
Well,
like.
let me say this then.
Go ahead
because
before I get them together. You go ahead and you.
Don't get them together. We're
He's happy today.
yeah.
I'm
But it's
gonna
okay
get
though.
it.
It's okay. I like his outfit. Just let him have it. But in the community, some folks haven't even really gone outside of their city, let alone their state.
That is
So
true.
you want them to now travel out the country and actually just
What I'm
do
trying to
what exactly? Because they're
Yeah.
not even out of their element. They're here, and you want them to go here.
That's the problem.
What
though.
I'm trying to say is you can't say Black and brown people, because on Earth, majority of humans are Black and brown. For example,
You know what
you're
I
an
mean,
African
though,
man, I'm an African man. We know for a fact a lot of Africans travel. And as we travel, we go to many places, we become part of these cultures, and we do just fine. I'm just saying, why put an entire stereotype on a group of people you don't even know? Just because you're an Akata who sits at home and has no passport does not make me the same thing. Because I'm pretty sure he travels too. And my friend, are you not American? Just like he is.
I'm glad to be here.
Exactly.
I'm happy to be
And
an
good thing-
American too, and I'm happy to be here. However, I'm in agreement with traveling. I feel as though it's a great thing to do. You should travel to broaden your horizons, but also it's a part of growth and it's a part of your journey. So when I say Black and brown people, I'm speaking from an American standpoint, because a lot of us here, we feel like America is the only thing that we should do or we should see. That's what I'm trying to say.
Let me ask you this,
But
AP,
he
then.
didn't get that, but go ahead.
It's okay. Let me ask you this then. How should one start if one hasn't traveled outside of their neighborhood? Where do you start?
That used to be me actually, so I'm glad that you said that.
Okay.
I thought it
Yeah,
was still
so-
you.
No, it's pieces. He's getting his passport. He's
Y'all,
getting.
I'm not giving Fo that energy today.
Oh,
I'm
you
not
just
gonna-
ignored me.
No, because Fo is trying to get a certain reaction.
But
out of
all
me,
right, so
and I'm not gonna play the game with you.
Okay.
I'm not gonna play the game.
So answer me that then. How does one start when it comes to traveling? If you haven't traveled anywhere outside of your neighborhood, where do you start?
Start locally. Go outside your neighborhood. Go to places like New York. Places
Yeah.
you can drive to, New York, or let's see what other places we can go to. Atlanta.
Yeah, I know you're talking about international travel, but even traveling within the U.S., it's a travel as well. You can. I've met some people, that were born and raised in D.C. They've never been to California before, so that's how you start. You can start within the U.S. It's so many places that you can go. We have like 50 states. That you
Start
can travel
small.
to. Yeah, you start small.
Well, not really small,
here,
but for us maybe
and you can
for
try to go
traveling.
to
Yeah.
international. So and there's actually like there's a research that says that people that travel more are way more happier.
Yes,
I'm not
yes.
sure
I
how true
do
that
believe,
is,
yeah.
but
Okay,
the experience makes you happy. as well.
We thank you, Patrick, for coming on. We gotta cut the conversation. But before I let you go, do you travel full time? Is this your full time job?
Well, I travel. I want to say I do full time because I go to at least like 12 countries a year, and
So you travel.
yeah, I do travel. I go to a new country every month, and I got a big adventure coming up. I'm going to like a whole new continent. In next week, in a week.
Yes.
Which I'm really excited about.
what's up,
So
Well done.
I got a couple more questions. I know production is telling me we gotta cut it, but
Yeah.
before I cut it, I got a couple more questions for y'all. Just hold tight. Hold tight.
Do we have a couple questions left to
We do.
be with
we
Patrick?
Good. We good. Just hold on. So you say you visit 12 countries in a year.
yeah.
How are you able to, if you don't mind me asking, how are you able to afford this lifestyle?
Just by like doing so. Right before the pandemic, I started my own travel company where I help people, build itineraries. I help people. I do travel coaching, help people just start traveling. I make travel itineraries. So if you want to go to Iceland, for example, you want to go to London, because I've been to all these places, I can make custom itineraries according to the way people travel. So I have my own travel company, and I have like different businesses that I do as well, which I work remotely. So that's how I'm able to, travel.
Okay, entrepreneur. Respect
Yeah.
that. So before we let you go, Patrick, tell the people where they can find you.
So you guys can find me on all social media at roaming the globe, just like roaming. I'm always roaming around, in different countries. So it's roaming the globe, which is one word _ on Instagram, Facebook, and on Twitter as well. And you guys can follow my YouTube channel, which is Patrick Amara. Amara is Amara. I'm always like everything travel, always doing travel vlogs. I started doing vlogs and everything, and show you guys what to do in every country that you go, depending on like what you're into. So YouTube is the most important one. I always post YouTube videos every week, every country. So you guys can find me on YouTube as well, Patrick Amara. I want to thank you guys for having me here.
No,
Thank you. You're welcome
Yeah.
anytime.
You're
and
welcome.
Before I end the segment, y'all, we got to travel. If you're afraid, I was afraid too. But guess what?
Still
Getting that
afraid.
passport.
I'm still afraid. Just
not
look at the
afraid.
camera and you're still afraid.
If you
On
scared,
that,
go to
note,
church.
on that note, because I come in peace and positive vibes, I'm not going to entertain 4 days negativity today.
There you go. AP, if you're afraid, go to church.
That's right.
Go to church.
Jesus can save you.
Oh!
And on that note, we out, people, because I'm not doing this.
Fair
with
to
them today.
Billy.
We out. Peace.
We-